Welcome back, friends. We're gonna have some fun today. Can you guess what's in my pocket? Well, I'll tell you, Bilbo. I got my field notes here. We've got our first cut sheet for our project today, which I'm gonna label the Bavarian Beer Bench. So we're gonna need to cut some some lumber out of this Doug fir log here. So that's what we're gonna do today. And also I'm gonna be attempting to cut something bigger than I've ever cut today, and that's a 12-inch board. Now, that's tricky because of, well, let me show you why. This, of course, is what I'm going to call a 10-inch blade. It's way bigger than a 10-inch blade, but that's the maximum we can cut from one side, right? So we've got a hub down here, and I do apologize for the light. We're in shadow here. But if we measure here, we can see that 10 inches as far as we can go until we hit that hub. Well, there's a way around this, but you're going to have to stay tuned to see how we do it. Here on the bottom side, you may be thinking, well, that's a huge blade, right? All the way across there. What is that? That's 25 inches. Why can't you cut 25 inches? Well, you can if you're just cutting on the top of a tabletop, but eventually you're going to have to undercut that from the log itself, and you can only go as deep as that hub on that back side, and that limits us to 10 inches. While you're puzzling on that enigma, we'll consult our field notes here, and we'll take a look at our cut list for our Bavarian Beer Bench. Benches, 2, plural. All right, so what we need here is 1 inch by 12 inch by 12. So 1 by 12, 12 feet long. That's how you write these out. Now you'll be able to do the same thing with your own project with material that you can get at the lumber yard. You'll just be using 3/4 by 11 3/4 because you can't buy this stuff, right? They're not regularly. The next piece will be 1 by 4 by 12 foot and 1 by 4 by 10 feet. That is on the agenda today. So let's go look at our log and start laying out how we can get the best material for our project. If this video were being made by a real sawyer, he could explain to you a great many things about radial tension and warpage and shrinkage and all sorts of, and where the best wood comes from. But you have the benefit of watching a professional homeowner, which understands none of these things. But I do understand one thing, that knots are bad for some projects. So let's take a look and see. We need 1 by 4 and we need 1 by 12. So the question is, do we take our 1 by 12 out of this one? And I would say possibly. This is almost 18 feet. We only need 12. So even with a knot like that, that's not a problem because we're not even going to use it because we only need that 12 feet. So inspecting and looking at this, that looks pretty good. Now, one thing I think I do know is that heartwood is bad. And what is heartwood? Heartwood is the very center of the tree, which is right there. And the reason being is that there's tension in these rings. And according to where you cut and how you cut, boards will warp, they'll cup, they'll twist, they'll do all manner of things. Of course, your best wood is going to be on the edges and such. So cutting our 1 by 12, which is a pretty big wide board, may not be the best idea out of this top piece, as enticing as that is, because it's the biggest portion of the log, and it is quite lovely, beautiful piece of wood. But we can kind of avoid that, I think, if we take our 1 by 4s out of here and here. And then that will get us free of the heartwood, and then we're in a better position to get some nicer wood there that might be a little bit more stable. But disregard everything that I've said. I could be wrong. Maybe some guys in the comments can jump in and clarify this for us. But well, we're not going to let that bog us down. We'll get started. So let's start cutting our 17-foot 1 by 4s first. I learned a long time ago not to try to be a smart guy on YouTube when you don't know what you're talking about when you have 1 million subscribers, because there's some guys out there that are a whole lot smarter than you are, and they'll call you out on it. So best thing to do is just to own your ignorance. Okay, so here's our works right here, just so you can just kind of see how this works on this scale. Hopefully you can see it. We have a graduated scale there from 1 inch down to 10 inches, and this is just clamps on. It's just a very simple system that's very effective, right? Because we need to lower 1 inch if we're going to cut an inch, right? So what we'll do is we'll set this at the top here, and then now on our winches, we'll start with this one. We're going to come down to 1 inch. That's a half, and then I usually go beyond and then come back a little bit to a full 1 inch right there. We'll do the same thing on the other side. What a beautiful day, my goodness. So I know that some of you have been admiring, I got me a new shirt here. This is, I think, the best shirt in the whole world, especially for this climate, is the Pendleton board shirt. Pendleton Woolen Mills in Oregon. They do new prints every year, and I had to go to the DMV west of here, and I drove by the factory store, and I just couldn't help myself when I pulled in and got a new one. So this is the new 2021 color, one of the new 21 colors. Mrs. W likes it. She says it suits me. Okay, so we're gonna go down 1 inch. Okay, let's cut. What the heck's going on here? Oh, goodness. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. This is really gonna be beautiful. It just never gets old. All right, well, let's just go right along there and just cut as many of these 1x4s as we can. Before I cut another 1x4, I'm gonna cut a little sticker so I've got some small spacers to stack the wood up so it's not touching. We might not be finishing this job up. The engine's not running right. Just cut out and died on me. Man, I've got 20 hours into this trying to figure out what's wrong with it. It worked perfectly yesterday. Now it's giving me trouble again. There's nothing worse than intermittent trouble too, because it's almost impossible to diagnose. Let's try it one more time. Calling all Kohler mechanics. So we've got two lights right there. We've got two red light indicators. There's one that's got an engine and one for an oil pressure, low oil pressure sensor there. Now that's been off all the time I've been running. It was on for a while. We reset the ECU. It ran fine. We cut yesterday. And Now, watch this. We start it, let the fuel pumps come up, they start flashing. See right there at idle, it runs fine, no fuel light or no warning lights. Pull the throttle up. Not a Kohler fan. Give me a Honda. Well, limped it through our last board. That is, I guess that's a wrap for today. Sorry about that, friends. I really was excited about this project, but I need those 1x12, so I don't even know where to begin with this thing now. All right, well, I'm going to load it up, put it back in the shop, and tear into it one more time, see if I can't figure it out. Wonder if it's possible to yank this thing off and put a Honda on there. I have to call my friends at Lucas to see if they've got an adapter kit. Thanks for watching. May God bless you. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you guys in the next video.